Hey everyone, this is Frank. I just wanted to do a video and post it on YouTube for any potential people that are looking at or that have an LG V20. And I'm really happy with this phone. I think it has a great screen and there's a lot of really great features that I like. Obviously, not all of the things of the Note 7, there's a few things that are missing, but a great phone that works and has a lot of features, and I sort of wanted to go through them. So let me start off with some accessories. So if we look at this, this is a LG V20 case, a Ringy Fusion case. It is only $9.99, or was $9.99 on Amazon when I bought it not too long ago. And if you take a look at it, it's clear bumper case, and I think it looks really great. I think it looks really great. It gives protection, etc. I bought a glass screen protector, which was not the best. I need to replace that. I had a little bit of problems getting that on, but I'm very happy with the case. So that's one thing I bought. One of the other things I got was this case. Interestingly enough, you'll notice that this is an LG V10 case, so I took a little bit of a gamble in being able to get it. I really wasn't looking for the case, I just wanted the belt clip. I obviously wanted to keep this case, and I wanted to have this type of belt clip with a clip on top rather than the slide in. I find they hold the phone much better, and it worked. You know, there's only really I looked at the specs, there's only really a millimeter difference. That actual case there will not fit on the LG G20, but the LG G20 with this case here will go right into that belt clip. And you know, I'm a big guy, so carrying a big phone around in my pocket doesn't really work, so that was a really good buy. The other is this Anker PowerCore 10,000 with Quick Charge 3. This particular one, if you look at it, has a green connector in the USB. That's Quick Charge 3 technology, which I use with those cables and also with the cable that came with a phone, so that I'm sure those USB-C cables are safe. That's a very good inclusion, $29.99. That will probably drop in price as Quick Charge 3 technology establishes itself, but that's a very good buy. I bought a couple of those so that I can always keep my phone charged. But I'm one of these guys that, you know, you can never have too many backups. So I've also purchased this spare battery in case. That will just fit in there, and you can use those same cables and charger to plug that into the. Let's look at the aesthetics. So I know that I've seen a lot of reviews. A lot of people prefer the dark grey finish. I happen to get the silver finish, and I've got to say that these plastic, these clear bumper crystal covers here are excellent protection for the phone. However, they're fingerprint magnets. And one of the great things about the silver color with that, clear cover, is it really doesn't show the fingerprints up. They're there. I mean, let's see if I can put it at an angle where you can see them. Can you see that? It's full of fingerprints. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, try and get a little bit closer. Fingerprints everywhere. But you really don't notice them because of that combination of the silver color. Still looks great, yeah, and you know, still looks great, and it's protected. Now, one of the things I don't like about the LG V20 is it doesn't have waterproofing. However, it does have military grade drop resistance. And I've got to tell you, in the 9 years that I've had a smartphone, I've never once dropped my phone in water. Doesn't mean it can't happen, and when it does, obviously there's an issue. But the first day I got this, I dropped it 3 times for one reason or another. Now, in terms of what is most probably going to happen, you're most probably going to drop it rather than drop it in water. So just that's just my thoughts. Everybody has their own preferences, but in terms of color, looks, and aesthetics, in the settings, and if I can remember, I'll go through that later. You can actually set up this lock screen here, this always on screen, and you can set up these two buttons here. And if the volume down button and the volume up button, if you click the volume down button twice, click, it brings the camera up. That's sort of like the double click on the Samsung phones. That's really, really handy. And then the lock screen, you can set it up with a time, message, and the always on screen there. And like I said, we'll go through that in a minute. Now, the fingerprint sensor on this thing is quite fast, and it's really, really good. That's another one of the things I really love about this phone. Let's take a look at the screen. So I've got the screen turned up right now, and the brightness of the screen is really important because I want to go through some battery statistics later on. That's really important. So obviously it's on all the way now. I actually keep my screen down at about 18%. It's obviously not as bright, but that's about 18% there. Look at that. That's 18%. It's still quite bright. Let's look at some other things about the screen. See these buttons down the bottom here. So let's look at those. There's a setting in the settings. You go to display and the home touch buttons here. And you can actually set up which button combinations you're going to see. Now I've put them all on there. So it's the back button, the home button. This button here will pull down the screen without having to swipe on it. The multitask button, and this one here is the screen capture button. It's not as sophisticated as the Note 7 and Note 5 pens. However, it still allows you to write on the screen with a stylus, so it's fairly good. And you can actually take those out if you don't want them, see, or move them. And I think that's quite good. Now the other thing about these is you can actually set up your individual applications so that when those apps come up, this actually doesn't show. Or I go into, say my Facebook, they're not there. I have to pull them up, so it doesn't take up the screen real estate. I've actually got to swipe to get them up. On the main screen, they're active. So that's one, little feature about the main screen. The home screen, there's a feature on the select home. So home screen and everything with a screen is up here once more. Settings under display. So on the home screen, there's an option there that says select home right at the top. And if you click on select home, it will ask you for different options. You can provide all the apps on the home screen, a la an iPhone type setup, an easy home for beginners with a simpler layout, and then you can have home and the app drawer. So the app drawer, which isn't there when you first get the phone, can be set up. So that's a very handy feature. I do want to spend a couple of moments on the second screen because, like I said, I'm a real fan of the second screen. So you can set that second screen up so that it shows or doesn't show when the main screen is on, and you can also set it up so that it shows when the main screen is off, which, as I showed you at the beginning, is a very handy feature. I actually have that little thing going across the top there saying, when, if found, etc. Call this number. So that second screen has these features, and you know, some other things like, you know, be able to show the time. And let me show you what you can do with the second screen. So up here, the second screen has a number of items on it. First of all, it'll have this message. So, you know, when the main screen is on, you can go and set your signature, you can set up your quick tools, you can set up your recent apps. So there's three things about this second screen. There's your signature, that's your quick tools. So you've got volume, Wi-Fi, flashlight, that's the big deal I like right there. Bluetooth and the screen capture mode. Then you've got the most recent apps that you've used. And then there's these typical apps which are always there. So the camera, your contacts, the photo gallery, messages, and you can't change those. That's a set, you know, that's a set of apps. These are the they're called the app shortcuts. I wish you could change them, but you know, that's not a bad group of apps to always have at the top there. Your recent apps, it's in order, the apps that you've actually recently used. Your quick tools is these ones here. You can have them on or off on the quick tools, and then your signature, and you can set up that signature whichever way you want. And I, you know, decided it's good to set this up with a message of what happens. So because in that option there, I have on the second screen, I have show when main screen is off. If I basically lock this, so my phone is locked, it's showing this message here, and I can actually move it and turn the flashlight on. So many times next to my bed at night, I'm trying to look for something, I can just pick up my phone, this thing will be on, I'll just move it to the quick tools, turn on the flashlight, there you go. It's one feature that I personally use a lot, and I can't tell you how useful that is. So probably a few things about the screen I missed, but I don't want to be here all night, so let me go on to the next thing, the battery. So I did some work on the battery to try and understand the usage statistics on the battery. Once more, that's in settings under general. It's a place where I go to a lot, and I've been doing a lot of analysis on the battery saving percentages. So like most people, well, not like most people, like me, I don't see very well. So I originally set my phone up to 80% brightness because, you know, I don't mind using up the extra battery, but this is what I found. So I left it idle. You can see here, right at the top here, I left it idle. It's sort of flat. Then I started doing some moderate usage. So, you know, with screen capture, I put moderate so I can remember. Then, you know, within an hour, it started dropping, went from 100 to, you know, about 85 or so. And based on that usage pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, just over 5 hours of use of screen on time based on moderate usage. That's the calculation. So here, you can see this degradation of this line. I mean, I was basically Facebook, which is a battery hog. I was, you know, browsing. I was looking at YouTube videos. I was taking photos. I'm not really a big gamer, but you know, I run the odd game every now and then just to get this usage pattern. And you can see there that at 80% with really heavy usage, that's 1, 2, 3, just over 4 hours. You know, because I started at 90% there. That's just over 4 hours of screen on time if you constantly use it like that. Run down, then I plugged in the quick charge 3 charger when I was at just above 60%, you can see there. And you can see how quickly, you know, the ramp up to be able to charge from 60-odd% to 100, you know, in just a few minutes there. So I went down to 60% brightness, and you can see here with heavy usage, that curve is not so steep. So with heavy usage, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just over 5 hours. I started at 80%, so it's probably a little bit more when you're on 60% brightness. This is 60% standby. I just left it there for a whole hour. So you know you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 8 or 9 hours on standby at 60%. That's probably what you would expect. And then I went down to 18%, which is where I am right now, right? And you can see what happens with usage and then on standby at 18%. It makes a massive difference to the battery, you know. So at that sort of usage, it's saying I'm at 9 hours 54 with screen on time. And then with standby, you know, it's just under 70% and hasn't gone under 60% over those, you know, 4 or 5 hours. I left it overnight at 18% and locked. And this is 18% with really heavy usage. You can see that curve is getting a bit steeper, but still not bad. So obviously the screen, the screen brightness has a lot to do with that. Camera, camera is really interesting. I think this is a great camera. I've been spoilt because obviously with the Samsung cameras, I had a Note 7 which had a fantastic camera. My son has a Galaxy S7 Edge which has a fantastic camera, and the Note 5 wasn't too shabby of a camera itself. So you know, if I bring up the camera, just remember here where let me go to maximum brightness again, just so you can get an idea of what it actually looks like. If I bring up the camera, that is really, really bright on autofocus. Right, obviously I've got the lights on here in the kitchen, and the lights on are over there. Over this side, sorry for the messing around here. Over here we've got total darkness in that room, but obviously still getting a lot of light from behind me. With the actual camera, you can see that's pressing the button because I'm pressing the down button, which acts as a shutter as well. You can see that's really bright with the LG camera in the low light conditions. So, okay, so the situation in here now in the kitchen is that the light right above me is off. There's a light over there in the kitchen, just one light only. And over here, complete and total darkness in the family room. So now, right in front of me, where I've got some fairly big low light conditions, as you can see there, this is the camera pointing at that low light. This is the camera pointing to that one light in the kitchen. And this is the same camera pointing at that totally dark room. That's not bad. You know, that's really not bad at all. So, you know, I find that the most valuable asset in a camera is to have something that's good in low light conditions, because, you know, we're out at restaurants and at night and taking pictures of the family, etc. So that's really important. So I think it's a really fantastic camera. Geekbench 1592 3810 6837 for the compute. So generally a really, really great phone. I'm very happy with it. You know, if you have any comments, let me know. Any questions I can answer, let me know. This is really not about trying to be a professional reviewer, etc. I'm just trying to help out. Thank you very much, everyone.